Hey everybody. All right, I'm attempting to put myself here on video. I always am like, oh, here we go. There's my video. Woohoo! Melissa, do you have your video that you're able to turn on?
I'm trying to figure out how to do that.
Okay, there's something at the bottom that looks like like two little lines. You should be able to. I'm going to invite Barbara to speak and to invite her to video. Let me invite you. I can invite you to video. You should be able to see it now. Barbara, invite to video. Let's see. There you go. There's Barbara Ann.
I don't see the invite to video, Julie, but maybe that's because I was trying to figure it out on my own and I missed the invite. I can't get back to you.
Okay, let
Send me
me.
the invite again. Hey, Barbara Ann.
There you are.
Oh, there we go. Thank you. I did miss it. There I am.
Woo! There we go. Hey, thanks for your patience and waiting. I'm so excited. So, I know we're broadcasting, but cause since you guys are my personal friends, I want to share my excitement with everybody because we are simulcasting on Facebook and YouTube. But Colleen and I, who I had on, the show a couple weeks ago, we're going to the Balloon Festival in Albuquerque together. It's the 50th anniversary. And we decided to do the glamping package. And I knew tickets were going to be like a frenzy. And so I got the glamping this morning. Woo! I'm super excited. We're going to stay in these tents right on the ground. And so when you get up early in the morning, the balloons will be right there. How exciting is that?
I
Stop
love
waiting,
that.
start living, right, ladies?
That's right. I absolutely love that. Have you flown in a hot air balloon?
I have been in a hot air balloon a couple of times. So as my husband, they're super cool, super
Yeah.
cool. And I am really excited about the opportunity. I take that back. I was at the Albuquerque Balloon Festival years and years ago with an ex-boyfriend, right? A really long time ago. And he wasn't even somebody that I really liked. And I really didn't have that great of a time. So I'm more excited to go with my husband, and it's the 50th. And, and I'm sure it's going to be a great event because I'm not sure this might be the first one that they're doing since, the pandemic. So,
Right.
Yeah, I'm pretty.
I saw friends of mine this past summer. They live in Paris and they went to, I think it was Cappadocia, Turkey, and experienced the hot air balloons flying overhead. And they planned to get up just one early morning to see it. And it was so mesmerizing, inspirational, peaceful, beautiful. They got up every morning they were there to see it. And the photos I saw on Facebook were amazing. And I was very fortunate because I got to go in a hot air balloon over the Kenya-Tanzania border. Back in 1990, that's how we switched countries. We flew over in a hot air balloon. And when we landed in Tanzania, we were doing a safari. I mean, the whole 2 months in Africa was a safari in a great big, huge blue UN truck. But now we were in little mini Jeeps. But before we started the safari, we had a buffet breakfast, the most decadent buffet breakfast that was put on for us out in the middle of, the Tanzanian plains. And it was amazing. And then we went on our safari and we raced a cheetah and we
Oh
lost.
my God.
We lost, but that's because the cheetah could go the way the crow flies and we had to avoid trees.
Oh my gosh.
That was an incredible experience.
Yes, it is. Okay, so since we're, we'll get to topic. We are on topic because
we're living, right? We're living our best life.
The show is all about stop waiting, start living. So Barbara Ann, what do you got? What do you got that has been a big adventure for you?
A big adventure? Oh my gosh. Well, I love it. I love the fact that you brought up Turkey because my husband and I lived in Ankara, Turkey for 2 years while we were stationed over there. And let me tell you, it's amazing when you get to know the locals and you get to shop where they shop. That's where the good stuff is. And you meet people that are exactly the same as us. When you get to dive in and get immersed into it, it's just breathtaking when you can see the differences, yet the similarities that we all have. I mean, we were in Germany for a couple of years, then we went to Turkey. We've been blessed to be able to travel through a lot of the European countries, and oh my gosh, it's just amazing to be able to travel and see a lot of the stuff that like what works over there. It's like, why aren't we using it over here? Or what's working over here? It's like, why can't we innovate and bring it over here? We really need to have that communication and exchange more so now than ever before.
Absolutely.
I agree fully. I think travel is the other part of our education, right? We have the formal education through our school system and university, etc. But when we actually go out and experience the world and experience different cultures, different foods, different people, and as you said, realize we're all human beings and we're all just trying to live our best life and do the best we can each and every day. That is powerful. And I've been very fortunate. It's been in my blood since I was a young child, getting to move to Japan at the age of 6 and travel all around Asia. And then as an adult through Europe and Africa. And I love it. I absolutely love it. But I'm also really grateful that during a pandemic, we had Zoom and I could fly around the world every day and meet people like you that I would never, ever have met if that pandemic hadn't happened. So there are some things to be grateful for the last 2 years. And
you're absolutely right, because I've got like this whole new great group of people from Canada. During some of the networking, I just interviewed for my podcast a doctor from Sweden, and she was awesome, right? And then I also, and such an interesting story, because she went from being like a medical doctor. You will love this, Melissa. She went from a medical doctor to stress management. So that's like her forte. Hi, Laura, welcome. I'll invite you up to the stage. I always invite people to video, invite people to speak if you'd like to speak. We're just talking this morning, the premise is stop waiting, start living. And we just got on this whole topic of like travel and getting to meet people from around the world because of the technology. So where are you coming to us today from, Laura?
I am in Northern Illinois. How are you doing?
Fantastic. How about you? I'm originally from Wisconsin, so you're in my woods. Yeah, I live in Arizona now.
Okay. I've traveled I've lived in about most of the major cities in the U.S. I'm just in the Mid-Atlantic or the Midwest here for a number of different reasons. But lovely to meet you here on Fireside. Thanks for the invite. I'll probably go back on audio, but just wanted to say hi. And
well, thanks so much.
I'll chime in and add value when I can and listen.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Laura. Yeah, so but we were talking about, and then I met somebody from Germany, and and the fact too that I always say now I can do business worldwide with any English speaking country, right? Because of everything that technology, has to offer. And it was always a possibility because I had been on Zoom prior to the pandemic.
Yes.
But now it just opened up all these new doors. And in fact, even with, I always laugh. Okay. So I have this girlfriend of mine for over 25 years. We've been friends, and she's in Wisconsin, now living in Florida, but we met in Wisconsin, and we both have iPhones. We both could be doing, FaceTime, and we always forget about it. Like we still pick up the phone and we just talk, right? Because that's how we grew up. And so sometimes you forget about the technology at your fingertips.
It's powerful. And I'm very grateful for it because, during all of the last 2 years, for a lot of this time when we were in, lockdown and physical distancing and isolated, et cetera, it didn't feel so isolating because we can build amazing relationships through technology as well. And I'm grateful that we had this technology through this time.
Well, absolutely. Hence, we're not waiting. We're still living our lives and,
exactly.
Out there. And I know that you're in beautiful, Whistler, and every time I see pictures of Whistler, I'm like, okay, Canada, open up your borders a little bit better because I would like to go and visit my friend Melissa in Whistler.
I'd love you to come. I was up the mountain skiing yesterday, and I've recently done a super intensive course. So I actually hadn't skied for a whole 17 days, and it felt like forever. But it was amazing to get up there yesterday. And again, just look down on the valley below and just be in Mother Nature. And again, I'm super grateful for that. And where I live and where I chose to live 32 years ago, at, the tender age of 22, looking back, I was smarter than I thought I was back then.
Oh, hell, girl, you've been smart your entire life.
It's beautiful up there.
We give ourselves credit for.
Yeah.
Was that Laura? You said you've been to Whistler?
Well, I've ridden my bike from Missoula, Montana to Jasper, Canada. So I've been on the Teton Parkway and that whole Logan Pass and all those areas. Oh my God, it's gorgeous up there.
It is beautiful. It truly is.
Yeah, one of the my girlfriend was just in Vancouver as well, and I hear that Vancouver is one of the most beautiful places in the world as well too. And I've yet to be there. My parents had some foresight when I was growing up. We used to do family vacations, and they used to drive. At that time, we didn't fly, right? Because that, to fly 4 of us, my parents, I was just grateful that we were able to get in the car and drive and go on family vacations. And one of our family vacations, we did go up to Canada. And I remember, okay, this funny story. So all my stories are funny, I think. Right? So I'm 14, and there was this amusement park, and they're still around. They're called Six Flags Great America. And so, but I had this shirt that said Great America on it, right? And so I'm walking around in Canada, and I for the life of me, I think it was, I don't know where it was. It was right over the border, because we were in Wisconsin. So wherever we went to Canada, right over the Wisconsin border, right? And so I'm walking around and I'm getting this, oh, America, great America. All these Canadian guys are and I was 14, right? But because of my height, I always looked like I was 18, 19. And, my dad's ready to beat him off with a stick. Right? Oh my gosh. Hey, Will, welcome to the show. We kind of, I did have an idea in mind this morning, but we just kind of got off traffic and we started talking about living your best life through travel and, all the amazing opportunities that are starting to open back up. So, anything, Barbara Ann, I'll invite Will to the stage, see if he's going anywhere interesting in the future. But you got anything planned, Barbara Ann? Are you going anywhere exciting?
Well, we're going to go to Maine in August for the first time ever. I have not been out to the East Coast to beyond Atlanta. So I haven't been on the East Coast beyond Atlanta, Georgia. So it's this will be the first time out to Maine, and we're going to go hit a family reunion for my husband's side of the family. And we're going to do that. As much as I would love to, I've got a friend of mine in Estonia that's getting married a couple weeks before that, and I would love to go, though I don't know if we're going to be able to swing it this time. But that's something that would be really fun, because Estonia is probably one of the few countries over there that I haven't hit. I mean, at least met somebody out of physically. So it's going to be kind of fun.
Right. Well, you know what? I'm going to swing this into, because, I brought Melissa on this morning because she's such an expert in helping you to live your best life, right? Because she is a health coach. And I have to tell you, Melissa, okay, so I didn't even get an opportunity to tell you this. So I work with Melissa. I'm a client of hers, and I just love what she does. And I'm going to let her get into it in a second. But I want to share that I just recently went to my naturopath on Friday, and I took her all my test results, from everything that I had done with you, all my labs, right? She was highly impressed, with all of those. She's like, oh my gosh, you really did do some extensive testing. So she was excited, everything that you told me and, supported me with and helped me with, she saw in the results and stuff as well. So, she gave her stamp of approval, Melissa. So I just wanted to share that with you. And so now it's being broadcast for the world to know that Melissa Deely is the bomb.
Woo! Thank you so much, Julie. I that means a lot. That means a lot coming from a naturopathic doctor, because, I'm not a doctor, but I've been trained in using the labs and looking for the imbalances in the body. And our body is so powerful, and it's designed to heal. We just have to create the environment for it to heal, and it heals from a place of balance. But when we get out of balance, it can be depleted and have a hard time getting back into balance. And in today's world, it can get out of balance pretty easily because of high stress and poor nutrition, or just our nutrient deplete soils, even for those that are doing the best they can to eat well. and our toxicity levels in the world today, which are far higher than our body was ever designed to cope with. And the combination of those three is causing the health issues we have in the world today, the near epidemic levels of chronic illness. And it's my mission to address that and create a healthier global community by making it more accessible to more people, because like you, I can work with the entire English speaking world because the lab tests get shipped to your home. You don't have to find a practitioner near you. You can work with me over Zoom because of the amazing technology we have.
Well, and I mean, I have to, okay, so I know it seems we're like off topic this morning. I don't know who's ever listening in, but we're really not. Because here's what I'm going to share now next. Like I have like all these crazy stories that are coming to my head this morning. I must be like really energized. I am energized, right? Because like I started back on like clean eating this week, and I started doing some, better things for myself. But I remember, I was out of shape, and I had started back with a personal trainer, and I was working out at a CrossFit gym. And like I probably was there for maybe 2-3 months. And then I ended up going on my very first trip to Belize. And while I was in Belize, I had an opportunity to hike like this. It was almost like a rock wall. Okay. I'll just tell you, I didn't go up that far, but I ended up like going halfway to see the waterfall because it was amazing. And I was glad I didn't go because like I don't have a problem climbing up. It's the coming down that they probably would have had to helicopter me off. And like, let me tell you something, it was in the middle of nowhere and I wouldn't have been able to have a helicopter. I would have been still probably up there, 5 years later at the top of this waterfall if I had tried to go up there. But what I remember most is that I was in such, better physical shape that I was able to do that hike, right? Because like when we go on vacation and there's all these opportunities that present themselves, sometimes some of these trails or they warn people. They say, listen, you've got to be in good physical shape to be able to do this hike or to do whatever. And they won't tell people no. And then, you see people who, they struggle. They physically struggle or whatever the situation is to, accomplish this. And so like being in your best optimal health, like really gives you that bonus on being able to live in the moment and live your best life because you have your health behind you. Like, Melissa, my philosophy, and Barbara Ann, you probably know this as well. Like when you have your health, you have everything. You really
100%. I truly believe it's your greatest asset, and that I would like to shift the mindset of the world to that, because we've been raised to take it for granted because it didn't really matter, right? You don't have to look after your health. If you get sick, you go to the doctor and they make you better. But that's backwards, because why get sick in the first place? Once we get that sick, it's so much harder for the body to come back from. If we instead look after our vessel the way we look after our car, we take our car in for regular services, etc., so it doesn't break down. We look after our home. We take the trash out, we vacuum, we clean, we do repairs, we do renovations. If we treat our body the same way, then it's always going to be functioning for us as well. And the sad state is that in North America today, this is some Edward Jones research that came out late last year. In North America today, the average person is spending 10 years in a nursing home at the end of their life. And to me, that's not living. That's not quality life. That is basically slowly dying, right? And I'm inspired by my grandmother, who lived to 101 and died in her sleep.
Grandma!
And she died in her sleep in her own home, where she lived by herself, fully cognitively functioning, until one day life was over. But it was this wonderful, long, fully lived life that, yes, there were tears, but really it was much more of a celebration for a life well lived. And that's what I want. But I started looking at how is her life different to mine, and realizing that because of just growing up in a different generation, and I was raised in Tokyo, Japan in the 70s in the height of manufacturing plants spewing out toxins, I knew I was more toxic than her because she was raised in little old Christchurch, New Zealand, growing their own food on the property before World War II, right? Which it's since World War II that we've had 144,000 man-made chemicals introduced into our world. So I knew I was more toxic, and something inside told me, and this is before we understood the science of epigenetics, something inside me told me that I couldn't just rely on my genes. I had to do more. I had to clear out my toxins. I had to take more proactive care of my health. And when you implement that baby steps at a time, it's not hard to do. I don't ask anybody to change 180 degrees and do everything different tomorrow. That's not going to last. It's not doable, right? But when we just start to change things, in little baby steps, we can improve our health step by step every single day. And why not? Because it is your greatest asset.
Absolutely. Hey, Dave, welcome. I'm going to invite you to go ahead and I'll invite you to video and I'll invite you to speak. So we're just talking today about, we started with travel as, part of the show, but we're talking about why your health is so important in everything that you do in every aspect of life. Barbara Ann, what do you got to say about this morning? Because you're sitting back there kind of quiet and I know you got something to say.
Well, let's just say this is a great topic because today being April Fool's Day, I'm laughing about that, but I decided that today was the day that was day one of my new health regime. It was like walking past the donuts instead of picking them up and stuffing them in my pie hole. But starting with just that one decision, and that's what people don't understand. It's one thing. You don't need to start with more than one. Start with one. Everything else will snowball, compound from there. And that's so, but it's interesting when you make a choice and you say, okay, this is a hard stop. No more donuts. It can be that simple. It's very interesting because all of a sudden you eliminate a lot of other decisions because it's done. It's out of your way. You're like, no more donuts, no more sweets, no more whatever. And then the next thing you know, you're making better decisions. You're feeling better. Life is moving forward. And that's just amazing. And Melissa, you're amazing at what you do. It's just listening to you and that you just brought home that, yes, you're right. We have to take care of this vessel because we only get one.
We do. We do. And I love what you're sharing. And you're absolutely right, Barbara Ann. And thank you. And it is that one decision. But I just want to let people to know as well, don't make it about deprival. Don't make it about, I don't get donuts anymore. Instead, make it about, I get to feel amazing by eliminating donuts, or make it about what it is that you want, right? Because you still get lots of other opportunities for joy in your life. But when we focus on what we don't get, that's when we fall off. So turn it into the positive of what you do get so that you can eliminate what isn't serving you, what might be harming your health. And as Barbara Ann said, make it one decision at a time, one step at a time, so you're not doing everything at once, because everything at once isn't sustainable. Your brain will flip out. It'll be like, what are you doing? Who are you? I don't even know if I can keep you safe, this person that's doing all these changes right now. And it'll start chirping at you, going, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? This feels hard. Don't you? I think you really, really, really want a donut right now, because if you cave and you eat that donut, your brain's like, oh, okay, she's back. She's in her comfort zone and I know I can keep her safe there because she's here and she's alive, right? And so anytime we step out of our comfort zone, we feel those little butterflies in our stomach because it's different, and it's our brain getting nervous because it doesn't know where we're going. And so what I also love to share with people is when you know that, you get to have the power to talk back to your brain and say, no, I got this. I know what I'm doing, and I'm going to bring us over here to a place of better health. And when we talk back to our brain, that's when we get to be in control. And I know we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, and we're often told we should listen more and talk less. But when it comes to our brain, I say talk more and listen less, because those 70,000 conversations we have with ourselves in our brain every day, they're not even telling you the truth, right? Think about it. And Julie knows this really well. It's not even the truth. So talk back to those voices and correct them and tell them where you're going and be in control of your mind. And that's what leads to success.
Well, absolutely. And the other thing I thought about, Melissa, is like, you don't want to have like these have tos, right? Like the where I'm going with this is that's the 80%, 20% rule, right? like 80% of the time you're following along with what you need to do, right? And then 20% of the time you give yourself some grace. Like you can't, and by grace, I mean, okay, so 20% of the time you could choose to have that donut, Barbara Ann, right? It's not the other way around where 20% of the time you're doing well and 80% of the time you're like, okay, now I'm going to do that donut. Because, it's moderation and it's choices. Like every day we have a choice. And you don't want to, like you said, make it like, okay, this is going to be forever, because that is too hard for the brain to handle. It's like, okay, today I'm making the choice not to do a donut. And then, tomorrow comes, okay, I'm making a choice today that I'm not going to do a donut or whatever it is, right? And maybe it's like, you reach for more water instead of that donut. And, it's the little things that start to build up to create the habit. Because you're absolutely right. All of us like get crazy. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to get healthy and I'm going to work out 5 times a day and I'm going to like eliminate sugar and I'm going to like, not drink and, I'm going to eat super clean. And you decide to do that on day 1. And by day 2, you're like, the hell with this. You're absolutely right. It's like the hell with this. This isn't working. Well, I wonder why, because you attempted to, to put too many things into place.
Exactly. And I fully agree with the 80-20 rule. And that's what I teach all of my clients. We do the detox program and there's a specific purpose for that. And it's only 21 days. And when everyone has their why, they can do 21 days. And plus they start feeling better. So they're motivated to keep going and, follow it as perfectly as they can. But beyond that, when we come off it, we do live by the 80-20 rule, right? Because we're all human and we're never going to be perfect. So I'm not going to ask you to be perfect because A, I'm not perfect and I only ever ask my clients to do what I do. And secondly, it's impossible to be perfect. So if I set you up for failure, what's that going to land with, right? So instead, setting you up for success. And again, we always want some joy, right? Lots of joy. And if it's all about deprivation, there's no joy and it doesn't work. But the 80-20 rule means we just get to make better choices. We can plan our week around social events, choose, okay, on this day I'm going out. I may not have control of what I eat. So that's going to be a day where that's my cheat meal. And on the other days around that, I'm going to choose to eat better and make better choices. And again, the more we do that, the more our body responds. And it responds so quickly. I mean, sometimes it's astounding to me, the responses I get from clients. I have one client who on day 1 of the detox is like, this sucks. I hate fasting. This is awful. And I'm like, you know what? Just trust in the process because you have some real goals here as to how you want to feel. And I know the first 2 days are hard. I never said they would be easy, but I've set you up for success. And then on day 5, I get a text from her going, oh my God, I feel amazing. I can't believe it. All my joint pain is gone. My inflammation is down. I knew I was inflamed, but I had no idea that it would go away so quickly. And what does she do now? She's out there telling everyone they got to do my detox because she feels so amazing. And if they want to feel amazing, they need to do it too, right? That's how quickly it can happen, right? Some people, it may be a bit longer because we're all different. But when we look after our body, it responds very quickly, inside 3 weeks, every time. And people start to feel better.
Well, you're absolutely right, because on Monday, I made the decision, kind of like you, Barbara Ann, about no donuts, right? Like I decided, okay, no more sugar. I was going to get back to my, like eating every 2 to 3 hours, my sources of protein, like starting in the morning with my protein shake, stop skipping breakfast, all these crazy things that I know better. However, it's like when I make the conscious decision, right? And I've been struggling like the last couple of weeks with feeling tired and being kind of sluggish, which I'm high energy anyway. So it's like, you really can't tell when I'm sluggish, right? Maybe I'm just not throwing on my googly-eyed glasses. Oh, for the benefit of those that really don't know me, these are my trademarks. So like maybe I'm not throwing on my googly-eyed glasses as much, right? So but like I am feeling so much better. I mean, today's only Friday, right? And it's only going to continue to get better, but like I can feel my energies back up and I'm drinking more water, which water is so critical, for the body. But, like my goal with all of these shows is to keep them about a half hour. But since we're going into the weekend, and I love the fact that we do this on a Friday. So I think the new thing I'm going to implement in as we're wrapping up the show is, what are you going to do to be living this weekend? What are you going to be doing to living this weekend? So Barbara Ann, I know you're just taking some water. Let me ask you, I have perfect timing. What are you doing to live this weekend?
Surprisingly enough, I have absolutely no plans yet for this weekend. I am doing a spontaneous weekend. It's what comes up, and we just roll with it. So if it ends up being spring cleaning, that's cool. Or if it ends up being a trip to the mall or wherever we end up, we have time to be able to do that. It's just, we normally don't plan weekends. It's just get out of the office and get into life. That's the whole plan.
Woo! I love it. I love it. I love being able to say spontaneously yes to life opportunities. Barbara Ann, I can't wait to hear what you do this weekend. Melissa, what do you got on the weekend agenda?
Well, I love what you said, Barbara, and get out of the office and into life. That is a quote. Isn't there a song like get out of my car and into my life or something? But I like the get out of the office and into your life. That's amazing.
We have to use that.
So tomorrow, actually, I'm getting new tires on my car. So not super exciting, but something that needs to be done. And I got to drive to the next town over to get that done. But Sunday, I'm back up the mountain because we're getting to the end of the season, although I am celebrating that this is the longest the mountain stayed open in 2 years, because last year they abruptly closed on March 29th. And the year before, because of the pandemic, it was March 13th. So the fact that we're open and it's now April, and we normally open until hour-long weekend in May, which is the third weekend in May, I'm excited to still get some spring skiing in and head up on Sunday for some time on the mountain, breathing that fresh air and skiing down the slopes.
Well, and hi, Ashley. Welcome to the show. I just invited you to speak. We're just kind of wrapping up, but we're talking about our Friday plans. Now, Dave already messaged me that he's listening into us at work. So you go, Dave. I hope this inspires you to do something amazing for your weekend. Woohoo! And hi, Sandra. Welcome to the show. We're just kind of getting wrapped up, but I'm going to invite you to speak because we're talking about what we are doing this weekend to live our best life now. So Ashley, you have anything that you'd like to share that you plan on doing this? All right, there she is. I could put you on video too, Ashley, because I'd love to see your beautiful face.
We can't do video right now. Tonight I'm going to host a fireside and kind of review. There was a nurse who was criminally charged with a medication error. I'm a nurse. I'm going to talk about it. I was pretty active here on Fireside for a bit, but I started grad school and got overwhelmed because I have 3 kids and a military husband and a partridge in a pear tree. So, so that's what I'm going to do tonight here on Fireside. Talk about that at 8:30, and then tomorrow is kids' baseball games, and I have some studying to do, and just kind of a chill day, and then Sunday, get back to it to prep for the next week.
Wow. Well, listen, Ashley, it's, you just jumped on, but there's a lot of similarity to what you just shared with the people that are on this call. I'm actually a former police officer. I have a background in that. Barbara Ann has been in the military. And so there's a lot that, we could share and talk about. And actually, your show sounds very interesting tonight, and I would love to be on it and listen in. However, I'm going to be at a party. Woohoo!
Fun. I'm prior military myself, and my husband is in the security realm with the military as well. So you guys sound like a great little crew, and you'll have to reach out to me. I'd love to have you on.
Oh, awesome. Yes, I will reach out to you, Ashley. That would be a lot of fun. I'm all about, I'm a podcast host, and Melissa is as well. And, we just love to have fun. And I love the fact that, I just found Fireside Chat like a few weeks ago, but I love the video aspect because I love to be able to see people and, and people feed off like that. Woo-hoo, energy and engagement. So, yeah.
And the googly eyes. Don't forget the googly eyes.
Oh, yeah. You missed it, Ashley, before I put on my googly eye glasses because this is what I'm known for. All right. Sandra, I did invite you to speak. Thanks for being here. Do you have any plans that you got going on this weekend that you'd like to share with us? Inspire people? I don't know if she's in a position to talk, so sometimes, people aren't always in a position to talk. So anyway, I'm going to say I've got a party tonight. I've got a party Saturday night. I'm a big social butterfly. So, I'm, looking forward to a fantastic weekend. Woohoo. Yep, that's right, Ashley. I got some partying going on. Oh, Sandra, I see you clapping. Are you able to chat and share with us? Let's see. I don't know if she is or not. I'm just still learning Fireside. This is all new for me. So I just fumble around and we have some fun with it. Oh, wait, I got a speaker request. Nope, that was something else. So, okay, accept all. All right. So on that note, we're going to wrap up this week's episode. It's been so much fun to have everybody, share some of their tips. And we started off with travel. We went to health. We're talking about Friday plans. So whatever you do, make sure that you live your best life today, tomorrow, and each and every day. All right, everybody, have a wonderful weekend.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for hosting us, Julie.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for joining.
Bye, Barbara Ann.